snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys! So today I'm going to be doing a tag. I was tagged in this by my friend Kristen. I will link her channel down below. And this tag is the Harry Potter spells tag. It was originally created by Turtle Sympathy, whose channel I will also link down below, so check that out. And it's a really cool tag. Obviously, if you've read Harry Potter, it's a really fun tag because basically all you've got to do is you have to take a spell from Harry Potter and you think of something associated with that spell, so something that the spell represents. For instance, you have Alohamora, which is unlocking doors, and that could be linked to unlocking a new genre of book, so that's a really cool tag. This is my wand, by the way. Beautiful. I don't have a real wand. Sad face, I know. But I have been to Harry Potter Studios and it's amazing, so if you haven't been to that, I would definitely recommend it if you're a huge fan of Harry Potter, like I am, like loads of booktubers are, so go there. So if you have not read Harry Potter, or if you just can't remember what each spell means, I'm going to put on the screen what each spell is and what it does, and then I'll tell you about the book. Let's get started. Alohamora. And this is what book introduced you to a new genre. So for me, I put Pushing the Limits by Katie McGarry. This is a contemporary book. It's not the first contemporary that I ever read, but it's the first contemporary that I ever read and really liked. So definitely it's worth checking out. It's a really well written, gritty book. Got some really interesting stuff that happens and I would recommend it, and I don't often like contemporary, so if I like it then you probably will too. Argumenti. Sorry if I'm like really rubbish at pronouncing these spells. I didn't go to Hogwarts, so I'm not classically trained in spell pronunciation, which is a shame, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. Argumenti. A book that made you cry. Now, seeing as this is the Harry Potter tag and I love Harry Potter, I had to put Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince because if you've read the series you will know the tragic thing that happens if you've seen the films. It's just tragic and it did make me cry when I was in the cinema and when I read the book, so that is a sad book. It's got some really sad things that happen in it. Prior Incantato, the last book that I read. For this one I have chosen The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. This book I haven't finished yet, but it is the last book I was reading. I was reading this just before filming this video, and I am loving it so far. Highly would recommend this. It is a really good book. It has kept me guessing the whole way through and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm about halfway and I will definitely be doing a review of this soon. Expelliarmus, a book that surprised me, and I chose the Painted Man series. I have told you so many times about this series. It's such a good book. It does not get enough credit on BookTube. I have seen literally no one else ever on BookTube who has reviewed it. I would highly, highly recommend that you go and check it out. It is such a phenomenal book. It is so good. And the whole series is fantastic so far, and it's an ongoing series, so it's only going to get better, I'm sure. It's by Peter V. Brett, and definitely check it out, guys. Expecto Patronum. For Expecto Patronum, it is a book that has fond childhood memories for you. And for me, I chose the Roald Dahl books, in particular James and the Giant Peach and George's Marvellous Medicine, because both of these I had on tape and I used to listen to them whilst I was going to sleep, so they were amazing. I loved Roald Dahl. He was one of my favourite authors as a child and he is just such a good writer. Ridiculous funny book, and for me I chose the Jiggy McHugh series, which is by Michael Lawrence. These are books that I read when I was quite young. They're all quite funny. They're about a group of friends who get up to all sorts of different mischief and they get into all sorts of funny circumstances, and a lot of things happen that lead them into even worse scenarios than they originally were in, and it's just a really enjoyable series to get into, especially when you're young, so it's definitely worth trying. I would probably still love them now. I'm sure there are some that I haven't read in the series, so maybe I will check them out, I don't know. Sonorous. A book that everyone should know about. So for me, I chose The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I'm sure nearly everyone does know about this book, but I think it should be read by everyone who loves fantasy, literally everyone. You have to sink your teeth into it. It's such a good book. I can't speak highly enough of it. Go and check it out, guys, okay? Obliviate. This one is a book that I wish I'd never read. I've told you guys before, The Shining Girls by Lauren Bukes, hated it. Wish I'd never read it. It was so rubbish, so it was just a rubbish book, and let's just leave it there. Avada Kedavra. This one is a book that can kill. I took this in kind of the literal way, and I chose a crime series, which is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It's a trilogy. It was meant to be a quartet, but their fourth book was never released because Stieg Larsson, who is the author, died, unfortunately. But it's an amazing, amazing series. It's probably the first adult series that I actually ended up reading, and it was one of the most enjoyable reads that I have. I've lent it to my grandparents, they've loved it, my mum has seen the film, all my family love it, and not many of them are massive readers, so it shows that it's such a good book, and I would recommend it to anyone who's kind of age 15 upwards, because it's got some dark things that happen in it, but it's just such a good book. There is killing and crime and stuff, but it's amazing, so check out that series. Tarantalegra. This one is the one that I made up myself. It's a bit random, I know, but I just chose it because it was something really silly. So I chose Dr. Seuss books for my silly books because they are really silly. They're nonsense, they're comical, they're just insanely funny to read. I have a little brother who is 6 and I love reading to him, especially from those books. They are such tongue twisters and so inventive. The illustrations are beautiful. The words are scrambled across the page. It's just such a fun read. Every time you pick one up, you know that you're going to be in for a good fun ride because it's such a funny, hilarious, silly, insane world that Dr. Seuss built, and I would definitely say if you'd never read them before or you'd never seen them, pick them up. It's got vibrant colours. It's just one of those series and one of those authors who you just can't put down once you've started it because it's so funny and silly and entertaining and enjoyable. I will put whoever I've tagged on the screen now. Me and you gonna have a little chat, and hopefully they will do it. I definitely enjoyed doing this tag, and I would definitely recommend that you guys get onto it because it is a fun tag. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all again soon. Bye! Me and you gonna have a little